In 1935, Australia made a decision that would change its future forever. The plan sounded simple: release 102 giant toads into the wild and let them eliminate the beetles destroying the country's sugarcane fields. At first, it seemed like the perfect solution, but no one realized they had just unleashed one of the most devastating biological invasions in modern history. Today, the descendants of those 102 toads number in the hundreds of millions, and they have transformed vast parts of Australia into a battlefield. This isn't science fiction. It isn't an exaggerated legend. It's a real-life environmental disaster that is still unfolding nearly a century later. The invader is known as the cane toad. Unlike most predators, it doesn't need sharp claws, powerful jaws, or incredible speed to dominate. Its weapon is something far more deadly: poison. Hidden behind its head are large toxin-producing glands capable of releasing a powerful chemical cocktail. Any animal that tries to eat a cane toad often pays the ultimate price. Snakes, lizards, crocodiles, and even household pets can die shortly after a single encounter. What makes the threat even worse is that the poison isn't limited to adult toads. Their eggs are toxic. Their tadpoles are toxic. Every stage of their life cycle is armed with deadly defenses. As cane toads spread into new territory, the same nightmare repeats itself. Native predators encounter them for the first time. They attempt to eat them, and many never survive the experience. Over time, entire ecosystems begin to change. Species that once dominated local food chains suddenly disappear. Animal populations collapse, and the balance that took thousands of years to develop starts falling apart. All because of one species that was never supposed to be there. But the story becomes even more shocking. The cane toads didn't just survive in Australia. They evolved. Researchers discovered that Australian cane toads became faster, stronger, and better adapted to long-distance travel. Some populations began spreading across the landscape at astonishing speeds. Every year, they pushed deeper into new territory, expanding their range and bringing the invasion with them. By the time scientists fully understood the scale of the problem, millions upon millions of toads had already taken over enormous areas of the continent. The battle against the adults was effectively lost, so scientists changed their strategy. Instead of focusing on the fully grown toads, they turned their attention to the next generation. If they couldn't stop the adults, perhaps they could stop the young from ever becoming adults. This led to years of research into genetics, hormones, and the unique biology of cane toads. Scientists explored ways to interfere with the development process, preventing young toads from completing their transformation. The goal was simple: break the cycle before the next generation could spread. At the same time, researchers searched for help from an unlikely ally: ants. Certain native ant species attack young cane toads as they emerge from the water. In some locations, these tiny insects manage to kill a large percentage of juvenile toads before they could mature. Nature itself had unexpectedly become part of the fight. Other teams focused on engineering solutions. Because cane toads depend heavily on water, scientists began experimenting with ways to limit access to breeding sites and isolate populations. The strategy was designed to slow the invasion before the next rainy season could help the toads expand even farther. Meanwhile, conservationists developed creative methods to protect native predators. Some crocodiles were trained to associate cane toads with sickness, teaching them to avoid the toxic invaders altogether. It was a race against time, a race to save Australia's wildlife before more species disappeared forever. Yet the most remarkable part of this story is how it began. Not with a natural disaster, not with climate change, not with a disease, but with a human decision. A decision made with good intentions. A decision involving only 102 animals. And nearly a century later, Australia is still dealing with the consequences. Because sometimes the most dangerous invasions don't arrive with armies. They arrive quietly, one small step at a time, until suddenly an entire ecosystem has been changed forever.